I guess you can just go ahead and crown Brent Venables and this staff the transfer portal kings because they now have 7 commits in this class. And even though it's not the most transfer portal guys taken this year, listen, between last year and this year, you got to give it to them. So we got to go ahead and dive into the new transfer portal commit that they just got a few hours ago. And we got to talk about where Oklahoma is in the transfer portal rankings and a player that I think they need to be going after. So stay tuned for that one. But before we get into it, please go ahead and hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Go ahead, make fun of me for calling Brent Venables and the staff a transfer portal king. I don't care. But just jump in the comments, hit that like and the subscribe button. So earlier today, I say earlier today, probably an hour and a half ago, we got an announcement from the 6'5", 325-pound offensive lineman from Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks, number 53, Caleb Shaffer. And listen, I love this addition, one, because it's a big body you can put up front, and I think that's maybe something that Oklahoma has been missing for a long time is just that monster that you can put on the offensive line. And you got to think about how important the offensive line is, especially with the announcement that Dillon Gabriel is going to be returning to the Oklahoma Sooners for the 2023 season. I believe the Sooners defense during the regular season allowed 19 sacks. I don't know what the number was after the FSU game, but that's way too many times to allow your quarterback to be getting hit or to be taken down. Now, you can put a lot of that on Dillon Gabriel, too, and say, hey, Dillon Gabriel's not getting the ball out fast enough, which is true, right? Dillon Gabriel does need to learn how to get the ball out. But at the same time, you do want to have your offensive line to be able to protect your quarterback a little bit better. And going into 2023, you had a hole pretty much on the left side where it was like, all right, who's going to start? Are we going to put Jake Sexton out there? Are we going to put Caden Green out there, who, mind you, Caden Green is a superstar, but still, as a true freshman, I don't know if I want to put a true freshman offensive lineman out there. You saw Texas have to do it this year, but the difference is Texas had 5-star, top 5 guy, top 5 offensive linemen, on their team. That was the difference, right? So I don't know if Oklahoma wants to put themselves in that position. So going out there and hitting the portal and getting guys like this, that's exactly what you want to do. I expect Oklahoma to maybe take at least 2 more offensive linemen, at the bare minimum 1. You're hearing of the guy Matt Lee from UCF. Stanford's Walter Rousey is going to be in town this weekend as well. I believe Matt Lee is in town today as I'm recording this on the 5th of January. And then I have also been a big advocate for them to go out there and get that kid from Kentucky as well. Now, not sure that one's going to happen. That one might be a pipe dream. But again, it's something that we got to look at. It's something that, OU fans definitely need to be keeping their eye on is the offensive line position. That and the defensive line were the 2 main points on this team I thought that the staff needed to go out there and address in the transfer portal. So there is another thing that happened today in the transfer portal that I think is very interesting, and we're going to talk about it. It is the former 5-star defensive tackle, 6'5", 275 pounds in the 2020 class, Jordan Burke, has entered the transfer portal today. And he's at South Carolina. Well, I'm going to phrase that. He's coming from South Carolina. And the thing that I think is interesting and why OU fans should potentially keep an eye on this kid, I have no doubt in my mind Todd Bates is going to kick the wheels on this kid and figure out, hey, is he interested in this? Because Clemson was his number 2 option before he committed to South Carolina. And Todd Bates was his main recruiter. And this was in terms of the composite score, a top 10 kid. And I think he would be a huge addition to this team and this defensive line. A guy that I think could come in and start day one. And let's pull up his stats here real quick for y'all so we can kind of just run through it and just what he did at his time at South Carolina. Still dealing with the congestion, guys. All right, so this year he had 60 total tackles, 32 of those were solo. He had 3.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. And then 2021, he had 26 total tackles, 14 solos, 1 interception for 61 yards and 1 touchdown, which is incredible for a defensive lineman. And then in 2020, he had 19 total tackles as a true freshman. So, yeah, love what I'm seeing from this kid production wise for South Carolina. And I think is going to be a guy that if Todd Bates and Brenton Venables, they want to kick the tires on him and see, hey, would he be interested in Oklahoma? OU fans would not be saddened to have Jordan Burke on their team. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the recent addition of Caleb Shaffer and then also the newly addition in the transfer portal for the University of South Carolina, Jordan